Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Alexis Danielle and welcome to the second day of 7 days of Christian Girl Next Door. And today's video I am bringing on to the channel my fiance, and we are going to chit chat all about our long distance, ministry, and our engagement. So if you guys want to keep watching, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, follow us on Patreon, social media, and let's go ahead and jump in. How did y'all keep God in your relationship during long distance?
Lots of prayer, and I think we could actually be way better at this, but we're not the best. But just really kind of like prayer. Like we would pray over the phone some nights. We would try to do pray every day over the phone, but sometimes we would do well for a bit, and then you might miss a couple nights. I know individually doing our own studies, not necessarily always doing something together. Like I would do my own Bible study, she would do her own Bible study. And I think that it's important because your own relationship with God should be strong before you have it with somebody else.
Yeah, I would agree. I think also, we're super, big nerds when it comes to, what we read in the Bible. So, whether one of us asked each other or not, regardless, we're still going to tell each other, what we read in the Bible. Is long distance what you thought it would be?
What I thought it'd be about, you don't really get to see the person all the time. You're by yourself a lot. I don't even know what else that kind of came with it. I didn't think we'd be doing so well at it.
It's hard, but it's not hard. I thought we were going to have a lot more arguments than what we actually do, but I think the reason is because long distance has made us have to get comfortable with having hard conversations because you're not always with the person face to face. I think also the fact that we're doing it a little bit longer than what we anticipated, what it was gonna be. I think that's the hard part. But I think distance, how long we have to do distance is the hard part. But I think because we have the luxury to fly me out once a month helps out a lot, because I know there's a lot of people that don't get to fly out once a month and stay for a month to a week.
A couple of weeks, a week to 2 weeks.
Yeah. How do you guys sleep in the same bed and continue to be celibate?
A lot of self-determination.
Okay, so...
a lot of willpower.
I think it's a willpower and a lot of prayer, but then also... there's been times where we're just this isn't a good idea, but I think it's also
just a lot of willpower. For me, just knowing that I don't want to cross that line yet. Alexis is both, I guess, of having the idea that we're both not going to cross that line, because when sometimes say I'm in over my head, Alexis snaps me back to reality, or when Alexis is in over her head, I snap her back to reality. Essentially, I know it's just kind of that. I know prayer does a lot about it. I don't really pray a lot about that, just because I feel like it was already something I've already kind of came up with in my head. But
do you want to give them a backstory, why it's so, it's easier for you than it is for me?
Why is it easier for me?
Well, I think it's because you've also been celibate longer than I have.
I think that, I guess, I don't know, because I don't have that perspective, so I guess I just feel I don't know any other, so I just know it's always the same for me. But it gets tempting sometimes, definitely, for sure. And sometimes we have to give ourselves boundaries that we don't cross.
One of my points for me is also just knowing consequences that come with having sex outside of marriage. So that's just not something that I want to repeat again. So I feel like there's a lot of little factors. There's just not one big thing, but the main goal is to glorify God.
And just remembering that essentially God brought us together, so do we really want to be disrespectful to him and the thing, because our bodies are temples of him.
So there's things that the Bible says not to do, but I don't really think of them as rules. But then when a parent tells you not to do something, it's not because they don't want you to have fun, but it's because they know the repercussions that come with it. So in a sense, it's trying to save you from hurt, because if God forbid that me and Kyle don't get married, and that's a whole other thing that we have to live with if we do cross that line.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all set boundaries and expectations? How do you bring it up?
Boundaries in what aspect do you think they're asking?
About like boundaries like with other people?
I was just thinking that. See, anyway. Yes, I think we didn't at first, but more so for me, because Alexis is pretty. I don't know if I'm just so laid back or if it's just different for girls and guys. But I have had a lot of friends that are girls, not necessarily a ton of guy friends. So, and I think in that a lot of girls have been my friend, I guess. Me being kind of, guys are oblivious sometimes, so not seeing a longer agenda, but agenda being there. Like, for instance, I had a friend back in Virginia. I used to hang out, she would talk with a lot, and we were just friends, but she would send me food sometimes, and Alexis was just like, boy, she better not be sending you no more food. And I'm like, what's the big problem? She just sent me like a cookie, and like, gosh, I like food. But just seeing that, the other motive behind that. So then Alexis telling me like, hey babe, I don't really feel like that's very respectful that you have some other girl sending you food when I'm your girlfriend, in a sense. And then like saying like if you go on like I guess tons of like I guess lunch dates or dinner dates, really they're harmless, they're fine, they're with your friends, but over time they can become something pretty dangerous. So I guess just having that set that, you know, those things that we don't make a habit to do. Like, can she go out to dinner with like her friend that's a guy? Yeah. But is it going to be like every night or every Saturday? No. That's kind of pushing it. And like me going to hang out with some girl every day, that's pushing it without like other person being in like a context. If it's just me and like another girl like one-on-one, rather than just like me and like two other friends and another person, then there's no like crossing the line or possible crossing the line.
I think also because it's long distance, like I feel like if you're face to face, like there's like these unsaid expectations, but like being long distance, like you have to, the whole food situation, I brought it up, was it uncomfortable? Yes, but to let the person know like what you expect of them, because then the miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't read your mind, you can't read their mind, so on and so forth. But I also think I think it's really important to be open with one another, especially when it's long distance, and to be very honest, open communication, because essentially like we're living almost like two different lives. Like your life's here, my life is over here, and if we're being quite honest, one person can do something and the other one would be oblivious to it, but it's having that respect for the other person.
Yeah, and I say it also is dangerous. It's not necessarily saying it can't be done, but there is a point of it being so far apart. Like if say somebody's love language is something different, they're not getting that because you're just not with another person. And usually like in marriages that happens where someone's not being fulfilled, so then they'll find somebody else that is fulfilling them as a friend or as a colleague, like something like that that's harmless, but then over time it grows into something different that that shouldn't happen. So it's also wary about that as well.
How do you make sure your partner feels loved?
Asking the question, like, how are you feeling? And then if you're a guy listening, not just saying, how are you feeling, babe? She says fine, and be like, okay, that's fine. No, that's not that's not that's not how it works. But just I guess constantly asking, like really making sure, doing the things, remembering the things that make them feel loved, like kind of like check-ins, like mini check-ins throughout the time. Mm-hmm. Just knowing like, hey, are you okay? And then if something's not okay, be like, well, maybe something deeper if they're just not okay. Mm-hmm. So that, basically just talking.
It's a lot of talking. I mean, that's all you can do when you're doing long distance. But again, for us, it's a little bit different because we have the luxury to go back and forth. So one thing that I like to do when I go visit Kyle is he has a lot on his plate, and I like to do little things around the house that he tends to neglect. Not because he wants to, but because he doesn't have the luxury to, okay, I'm going to do this at this time, this at this time. It's all his time really just is spent on school. So a way that I make sure that he feels loved is taking on a burden so he doesn't have to worry about.
Super sweet.
Worry about that. So yeah, but I think it's also just learning each other's love languages is like the most important. Mm-hmm. Because again, like I said, like I like to take on things for Kyle, but also like that's not his love language. So even though I think that's gonna make him feel loved. It's kind of just like, oh, like, cool. Like, instead of, like, it being touch with, that is your love language. So, okay, was there anything y'all did to prep for the long distance?
Yeah, I think just getting your mindset around it, like thinking, this is what it's gonna be. Before I left, I made her like a little kit, like goodbye kit, and it had like letters I wrote like for things I anticipated how she would feel, like if she will feel happy one day, if she will feel sad another day, if she missed me one day, or if she's bored one day. Just different letters she can open up on different occasions. I think she opened them up the second day anyway.
Not all of them.
Not on the actual occasions. But I did that, and I had, I think I had like a little like to-go kit, like had snacks and things that she liked, all together. And then I also went through and like did some research about long distance relationships, how those that have gone through it have success, how to also like different apps that you can get, and they kind of help you like talk with your significant other, so things of that such. So yeah, that's kind of what I did to prepare.
Yeah, I think.
And prayer. Sorry.
Yeah, lots of prayer, but also I kind of did something similar. But for me, it was more like school related. Just like I got a mini like mason jar, and I put like little like Bible scriptures and also like things about his character. And then I got him what was it, like chill pills?
Oh yeah,
they were like
Skittles.
And I said like eat one every time you feel stressed. So just like little cute little things like that. And what else did we do? Oh, and then also we, like he mentioned previously, is the apps. We use like this pair app, which we haven't used it in a while, but I really do feel like that helped at the beginning, because sometimes we would get stuck in like what are you doing?
Nothing.
Like,
alright, cool.
Yeah, like we would just get stuck in like those like mundane type of like questions, because obviously I know what you're doing and he knows what I'm doing, so kind of just to pull like different conversations out of each other,
Things that you don't necessarily think about.
Yeah, so I think that really helped at the beginning, which we've kind of been slacking.
Well, I would do stuff, and then it would pop up on her thing, and she just like, babe. Well, normally I would do it when I'm like kind of in the bed, like about to sleep. She's like, babe, I'm trying to sleep, and it keeps buzzing her. So.
Yeah, but that's a great way to like stay connected.
And this isn't even a sponsorship. We just use the app just because that's what it is.
Yeah, and yeah. So, and we also used like this game, wasn't it? It wasn't paired, it was something else.
I don't remember if that sounds familiar, but like just different apps you can do like with each other, just are kind of fun, like fun little like activities or multiplayer apps just with each other.
Yeah. That is the end of the video. Those are all the questions. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Babe, you gotta point to the subscribe button.
Where is it?
It's gonna be like somewhere in here. Yeah, hit that subscribe, share this video. Again, give it a thumbs up. Follow Christian Girl Next Door and Alabanza on Instagram. And also, thank you for joining us on our second day of 7 days of Christian Girl Next Door. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Later.